We are back. A lot to talk about today. Last night, the Spurs had an amazing win over the Utah Jazz in their NBA Cup Game 3. They are now 2-1 in the standings. I believe they are either first or second place in their Cup standings. Spurs are playing amazing basketball. Took down a Utah team which has been struggling, but nonetheless, every NBA game is a hard-fought win. And they've gotten 4 in a row, working on getting number 5 for the Lakers tonight. So we're going to go through some things that we saw last night. We're also going to preview some things moving forward tonight against the Lakers. As we know, the Spurs do not play on Thanksgiving Day. So no basketball is actually happening on Thanksgiving Day. So we are going to preview what we have going on with the Spurs. All right, so first up, we have last night's game. If you look here, we have the Spurs really just dominating. Julian Champagnie continues to play really good basketball. When his shot is falling, he is a money maker. Harrison Barnes, shout out to him. Shout out to you, Unc, for getting, we're going to have more on Harrison Barnes later this week, but getting Player of the Week for the Western Conference. 22 points per game, shooting almost 62% field goal percentage. Harrison, keep it up, man. Victor having an amazing game. Look at that plus 17. Very good for Victor. In just 37 minutes, he had 34 points. I thought he was going to hit 50 based off of the first half, but we have to be humble. Chris Paul stepped up in the clutch. I believe he had 5 points in the middle of the third or something like that. Maybe even going into the fourth, and he hit some really clutch buckets. Throwing up the threes for Chris Paul, looking like he's 20 years old again. And then Steph Castle having a great game. Struggled a little bit with his shooting, although 48%, not bad at all. So really a good team effort. Keldon Johnson struggled with his shot, but playing good basketball. Mamu came in, hadn't gotten minutes 2 games ago, and these past couple games he's really been playing well. Mamu is a great complement piece to the Spurs. Everybody played really good basketball. Even Charles had a nice dunk. Trey looking a little disoriented, I guess, and a little lost, and we'll talk more about that later on. And then the Jazz, of course, a struggling team, but putting up good numbers. But it's just too much. The Spurs are now a real force. So moving forward to tonight, we have the Lakers. We have the Lakers at 7:30 against the Spurs here in San Antonio. So it is a back-to-back. I know they originally had said that Wemby would be playing, but we will see. We will see, right? So I know his knee is questionable. So a 7:30 tip-off time, and then to the last 5, that's how it's looking. The Lakers are actually kind of stumbling into this game, really getting some bad losses these past 2. So struggling, the complete opposite of what the Spurs are doing, winning 4 of the last 5, 4 in a row, trying to make it 5 in a row. And then looking at tonight's leaders, of course, Anthony Davis just on a tear. Anthony Davis, in my opinion, is going to go down as one of the most underrated, best players of all time. I think he's really good, and a lot of people know that, almost everybody, but just we don't know how good he is, really. Or we don't appreciate how good he is, and gets boards too. LeBron, 9.2 assists, that's actually really impressive at his level, still putting it up that much. And then Victor leading our way, of course, Chris Paul with our assists. Just good basketball from the Spurs, confident basketball. So if we look at the standings, we're gaining ground, only 3. I know it looks like we're really low, and we are, but we're only 3.5 games behind the Thunder, who have recently stepped over the Warriors for first place. So as of today, let's see, obviously we'd be playing for a play-in, but, if we were to make it, we'd either have the Thunder or the Warriors. Obviously, we are very far away from the playoffs, so 18 games into the season, we're looking good. That 7-3 last 10, and it was an away win. We were struggling on the road, so that was big for us. And then just to kind of look at the East as well, Cavaliers still impressive at 17-1, but of course the East is just a different story, right? If the Spurs were in the East, I think they'd probably be, let's see exactly, they would be the 4th, 5th seed maybe. And look at the Bucks. The Bucks are coming back. They were doing really bad. They actually have along with the Celtics and the Bucks have a better winning streak than the Spurs, but the Spurs are 3rd. So pretty cool to see the Spurs improving. That's what we want to see with Victor Wembanyama and a young crew. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We'll have more recap and just overall analysis. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Anything that you want to know, please put in the comments. Give the video a like and subscribe. It just supports more than you know. So have a great Thanksgiving and go Spurs, go!